Hey friends, Brian Logue here, Prologue Studio. One of the things I love about music production is you get to solve puzzles and figure out what works on each song, and each song is different. So I had this mix come in from a client, recorded at a really nice studio down in Los Angeles, so I know it was recorded right. It came into the studio, he wanted it mixed, and I sent off the mix. He really liked it. One of the notes was, can you take some of the ring out of the snare drum? Now, in the recording process, that's when you would really control the ring with some dampening, but it didn't happen in the recording process. Then as you start to add EQ and compression to get everything to balance, those overtones can start to come out. It's not my job to fix the snare drum if I think it sounds a certain way. I want the artist to create the snare drum sound that they want. Then, if they tell me afterwards, can you change this? Then I step in and I start to make some surgical adjustments. So I couldn't use a drum replacement software for this. If this was a pop song or a rock song or a country song, you could just do drum replacement, which is really great for getting out hi-hat bleed or changing the overall tonality of a drum. I couldn't do this on this song because it's kind of this jazzy tune, and at the end of the song, there's this really killer drum solo with a lot of nuance, a lot of ghost hits and fast rolls, and there really isn't a way for drum replacement software to keep up with that type of style of playing. So I had to go in with compressors and EQs and see if we could change the tone. So I'm going to play you this drum mix the way that I sent it off the first time, and then show you what I kind of did to adjust the tone. Here we go. This is what I sent off the first time. I like it. Snappy, punchy, kick, snare, everything's cracking, sounds really good, but the artist wanted less ring from the snare. So my first course of action was to try a different compressor. Usually I do the FG2A from the Slate audio suite of plugins. I really like it. It's got a slower attack, brings up the beefiness of the drums, so that's what I used on the first pass. The first course of action is to try swapping out the compressor for a distressor, which is much crisper, much grittier. It's going to add much more character sonically to the drum. Normally I don't start with that for those exact reasons, but this may be what this song needs. So let's give this a listen. I like it. Brought down the overtones subtly. You still have the sound of the drum. It's not completely rewriting what the drum sounds like, but it's getting rid of some of that ring. So let's do the LA2A style first. Distressor. It is subtle, but it makes a difference. Let's listen to just the snare by itself without everything else. You really hear just the tone of that snare drum top microphone. Here's the LA2A. Distressor. I like it. Distressor takes out those overtones. Now, another thing you can do if you feel like there's still too much drum overtone is try to find the offending frequency with EQ. So let's put it back on the LA2A where we get that ring on the snare. We'll add an EQ and we'll try and find that offensive frequency. Seems right around 322, 326. Start to pull that out. Seems to be helping. Now let's try it with the distressor. Yeah, there's even less ringing when I pull it out with EQ. All the drums back together. The ring seems to be gone. Now, the first course of action may have been to just drop in some drum replacement. That's always an easy way to go about it. But when the star of the song is the drums and you get to this drum solo at the end, trying to preserve those recorded drums is really important. And I think it honors the artist really, really well to go in with compressors and EQ to make the difference. All right, here's a little bit of that drum solo so you can hear why it was important not to use a drum sample. A lot of ghost hits in there. Didn't want to use drum replacement. Wanted to keep the original performance of the artist. So that's why we didn't go the drum sample route. Fixed it with compression, little EQ if we needed it. Hope this helps you out. I love this stuff. This is fun for me. I enjoy the game. Trying to figure out the puzzle. Follow along for more stuff like this. Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. We'll see you next time.